Do you have more chemistry in your relationship or true connection? Because there is a difference, and I need you to know that difference because so many people think, oh my gosh, we have such great chemistry, and that means they have connection. That's wrong and couldn't be further from the truth. And this is even more important to be said about when you're in a dating stage with someone, even before you get to the relationship, right? This is the thing that gets people in trouble and they wind up in a relationship that ultimately winds up failing because they had so much chemistry in the beginning, right? And they mistaken it for connection. Now, to be clear, it shouldn't be a matter of you having chemistry over connection. You should have both. But understand that having chemistry just means you have an organic flow that yokes you guys in a way, right? Like you kind of flow organically together in some ways. Maybe your energies collide right or well together, right? When you first met each other, it felt good, right? Maybe you guys enjoy similar things that kind of seamlessly flow together. You know, it's not like pulling teeth to have similar interests. You guys like to do the same things together. You enjoy going to certain places together or doing certain activities. Maybe you share the same sense of humor. And these are all great things and may say that you have great chemistry with this person. But that chemistry does not equate to connection because connection happens on a deeper level. It happens on a core level of fully accepting a person for who they are and loving that person, being able to be with that individual, not just the things you have in common with them and all the other pleasantries that you enjoy with them. And just to give you an example of what I mean, you can have a really good friend in your life, right? You enjoy going to go hang out with. You guys have so much fun together. You do all these fun things and, you know, you share similar ideas and interests and all this stuff. And they're the first person you call when you want to go out and do things. But if you sat there and had to answer honestly, if there's this like fictitious world where you had to be someone that was in a relationship with that friend, you start thinking about all the other things you know about them, all the other little personality pieces that you don't have to deal with necessarily whenever you're not in front of them. You're not in a relationship with them, so you can enjoy all the great stuff with them. But whenever it comes to you going home at night, there's some areas about them that you know, hey, yeah, my friend, now they're crazy in this way or whatever. But you know, you don't have to ever actually deal with that side of them because you're not that intimately intertwined, right? You only have to deal with them enough whenever you're doing things that you guys really yoke really well around to where the chemistry is great, right? Even your connection to a point is decent, but you don't have to accept all of them to have them in your life the way you do with a partner. But when you're truly connected to someone, that means you fall in love with every bit of them, all the flaws and all, right? Every shortcoming they have, every, character flaw or issue, right? Just as much as all the awesome qualities, you love the other side of it too. You still choose them, even though you see all of them. You still feel bonded to them, even though you see all of them, the good, the bad, the ugly. That's true connection. And see, here's where a lot of people get derailed and go the wrong direction, thinking they have true connection because they have chemistry. A lot of people don't realize that they're only in a space of solace and feeling great and happy and pleasant with their partner around, whether they're in the dating stage still or they made it to a committed relationship, whenever they're distracted by other things, when there's other things around them to keep them entertained, to where you don't just have time to sit and fully focus on the other person and have to just sit in that space with them. When you're able to do that with complete peace, that's when you're truly connected. And so many people don't realize they're in relationship dynamics or in that honeymoon phase of dating with someone in the beginning, that part of the reason why they have so much chemistry with this person and it feels so great and amazing is because there's always some sort of a focal point outside of just being present, fully diving deep into each other to fully see each other for who they truly are and getting to connect to that individual. And in the dating stages still, right, the honeymoon phase, that's when most people are putting up what most people say they're representative. I don't believe representatives. I believe we pull all of our best characteristics out of us to show up for this person we really like because we want to impress them and everything else. And we don't mean to not be authentic to how we are on an everyday basis because we're excited. They're pulling this out of us because we are really happy to want to put our best foot forward. It's just that when you haven't built the habitual system, the habits to be able to maintain all those qualities you have in the forefront like that, then once the fresh new car smell kind of goes away and things become kind of normal and more monotonous in a way, you start to slip into what actually is your norm. And that's when people feel like, oh, your representative disappeared. Now you're being the real you, right? So for that very reason, when you're in a honeymoon phase, chemistry is going to be on 1,000 because both people are putting their best foot forward and all the bells and whistles are around, all the fun things to talk about, to do, and everything else. And there's less deeper dives and less time without all the distractions to just focus on, do we really connect and bond the way we should beyond just the chemistry that feels amazing? And that becomes the anchoring piece to why so many people wind up making it to a relationship situation where it becomes unhealthy or toxic with that other person, and they have such a hard time leaving. They start grasping to hold on to how things were in the beginning, just trying to get back to that when things are so amazing and everything was just fun and it was all perfect, right? They're holding on to that because they're remembering and reminiscing over the chemistry phase when all of the chemistry was yoked and was just flowing, and not focusing on the fact that they didn't spend enough time learning that person at their core and them doing the same in reverse to know if they're actually connected to this person. And so now they're really realizing that we're not actually connected, right? Because when you truly connect and you're fully embracing who that person is on the other side of you, and you accept who they are, right? Meaning you still love them no matter what you've learned about them, good, bad, or ugly. That means you're connecting with them on an identity level in some way, and on a values level in some way, principles, morals, right? And so many people don't do the work to learn what that other person's actual values, beliefs, and morals and principles are that equates to their identity. And if that identity is reminiscent or reflects your own in some regard. And when you don't do that, that's when you get caught in that space of saying, oh my gosh, things were so amazing. What's happening now? Let's get back to that. Well, there's no going back because you only can move forward with who the person actually is, not a time period they were able to offer you. So first, make sure if you're in the dating stages with someone, you're still evolving with them, that you're actually building true connection in addition to the chemistry. You should have both, right? And if you're already in a relationship, you're at a point where you're realizing we're not so connected, but we had great chemistry, or we still do have some great chemistry, then you need to start having different conversations on understanding that person's core, your partner's core, and trying to find ways to blend their core of their values and their beliefs with yours so you can yoke better and start to connect better so you can embrace and accept them fully, and they can do the same for you in return. Because if you're in a position to where you recognize that if you have to sit in a room with nothing else to do but just bond with your partner, and it's hard for you to do it, and you really only enjoy them most whenever you guys are doing activities or things that are little distractions and things that are added to the equation, the bells and the whistles, then you're not in a good position. At that point, that's when those deeper conversations of trying to truly connect to each other needs to begin to happen. And if you start to do that, and you start recognizing just our core values and principles are just not lining up, you might have to also embrace that you guys are not meant to go the mile, right? Not supposed to make it to the finish line. And that's okay, because you'll be doing serving for both of you guys to get out of each other's way so you can find a person that does fit you to get to that finish line if you have to come to that conclusion. But get the deeper dives first and try to work on the true connecting and blending of those morals and those principles and those values, because that's the only way you'll truly be connected. If you don't feel you have the tools to do that and you need help with that, I'm more than willing to step in and help. Just email or DM me coaching and we will get to work as always if you're truly ready to put the work in. Let's get it.